How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the show called Joey Answers Your Questions, the show. I've been away, but the show called Joey Answers... Bleh. Clearly I've been away because I can't speak. This is going to become a regular weekly show, and I'm really excited for it. We're going to do this every week. It's going to come out every Friday, so you guys have something to look forward to on this channel. And basically, if you want to ask questions for next Joey Answers Your Questions, the show, ask them in this comment section of this video so that I can take a look at them for next episode. So hopping into some of the questions, let's try to just have a good time. And I have my coffee here. So there's that. Let's jump into it. So GamerMaster PL or PI says, how to find a passion or goal in life. I really want to see more of your content. Greetings from the planet Pluto. Well, you're not going to find many passions on Pluto because it's too cold to support human life. So maybe move to Earth, and then once you move to Earth, one of the best ways you can find your passion is by doing, not just sitting there thinking. You have to try new things. You have to constantly be pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. You really have to be willing to be uncomfortable and expand your boundaries. It's kind of the only way to find something that you really vibe with. It might sound like common sense, but so many people have the wrong approach with this. They sit around in an empty room thinking of what their passion is, and they're waiting for their passion to come out and grab them by the shirt and take advantage of them. No, that's not right. They're waiting for their passion to just like come out of the woodworks and call their name. There, that's a little bit more family friendly. Chase opportunity and bring your passion with you. Most people don't have just one passion. They have a bunch of things that they're really into, that they find fun, that they find interesting or exciting. And if you have that sort of attitude towards life and you are constantly trying new things, then something will stick. You know, I can guarantee it, but taking action is the first step and pretty much the only step. Act first, think later. So this one's from Paula Rubavathi. My question is, what's your Myers-Briggs personality? And do you think this personality test is accurate? Thanks, and Happy New Year, Joey. Well, Happy New Year, Paula. Or just Paula. I don't know why I wanted to go out Paula. I haven't taken the Myers-Briggs personality test in a very long time, but last time I checked, I was an ENTJ. I'm not exactly sure what that means. That's an extrovert, intuitive, thinker, judger, I think, something like that. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure how accurate a lot of these personality tests are. I'm not really qualified to, what am I not qualified to do? I'm not qualified to do anything, really. I'm qualified to operate a forklift. Actually, no, that's not true.
You should not drive the forklift.
You're not allowed to drive the forklift.
I have a bachelor's in media and communication, but other than that, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a dude. All of these tests you really need to take with a grain of salt, because studies have shown that people's personality changes over time. People can often use their personality type, like say you're an introvert, for instance, you test as an introvert. You might use that as a justification for further action. You might, if a friend invites you somewhere, you might be more tempted to stay home because you're an introvert. You're just being yourself. And you use it as an excuse to not maybe push yourself beyond your comfort zone and explore new territory. So I would say live how you wish to live. Be the person that you wish to be. Eventually it'll become more natural to you. And you may find that before you do the pushing and after you do the pushing, you might score very differently on personality tests. So yeah, I would say don't take them too seriously because they do change. Voss Velos says, what is your advice regarding leaving relationships? Is there a right way to do or a right way to go about it, or will there always be blood? Thanks. Well, if you do it the right way, there won't be blood, but there may be free real estate, hurt feelings, and it'll always suck. Like, it will always suck. And in fact, I would say if you're doing it the right way, it sucks the most for the shortest amount of time. What I mean by that is that the best way to leave a relationship or deal with relationships in general is with a brutal honesty, really. Every single time that you try to mask the truth in some way, or you try to substitute the truth with some sort of other fluffier language, feelings are always hurt more in the long run. So I feel like if you're leaving a relationship, you really just have to, you need the we need to talk type of talk, and then you need to go over what the issue is. You know, you have to really reflect on that. You got to be prepared for that type of conversation. You do have to have some introspection and figure out what exactly is wrong with the relationship so that you're equipped to talk about it. But you have to be honest. It's the only way. It's like ripping the Band-Aid off. You know, that way there's no guesswork, there's no manipulation, there's no leading anybody on. You just are honest from the get-go, and you're honest all the way until the end. Honesty always wins. The spoken truth is very powerful. Good luck. Giovanni says, how do you manage friendships and relationships? Do you think you're actually able to invest on human relationships? Yeah, I think you can and should invest in human relationships. Otherwise, life is kind of a formless void. Devoid of any meaning? I'm very smart today. I'm very, very quick-witted. I have a vast vocabulary, and my wit is unmatched. There's a lot of advice online, especially in kind of like the red pill community, that really totes the idea of never investing more in a relationship than you do yourself, which kind of can be true in most instances. I guess, you know, you should take care of yourself first and make sure that you're accounted for and you're not like putting so many resources into another person who doesn't reciprocate, and you're not like so heavily dependent on some other person's approval or something. This is all sound advice, but I feel like it can be taken to the extreme where you're not risking any of your emotions on other people, and it can be a really lonely existence. You can find yourself kind of locked up in a cave, you know, improving yourself and, you know, improving your finances and your body and whatever, and your mind. You have no one to share that improvement with. I feel like the nature of relationships relies heavily on risk. You're risking having your feelings hurt. That's kind of just how you have to play the game. In a way, that's what loving someone is as well, because you're kind of like entrusting somebody with a piece of your heart. And if they smash it, it's up to them, but it's sort of like a sign of trust. And it's ballsy, really. I would say take care of yourself first. Make sure you're in a position to give from a place of abundance. You know, if you're lacking in so many areas of your life, then you're not going to be very capable of giving your affection or love to another person, even on a friendship basis. You're going to require so much from them to fill your gaps that it's going to become toxic really quick. If they're not giving you the attention or the approval that you should already be giving yourself, then you'll start to become bitter and resentful. 100% make sure you're a functional human being before getting into any sort of very close friendship or romantic relationship. Yeah, take care of yourself first, but don't be under the impression that once you are stable, that you shouldn't take any risks with people, because that's a recipe for living your entire life alone. There's always risk. Brian Tinsley says, do you have a skincare routine? My skin is kind of terrible and I'm in the market for something to help my acne. Any recommendations? Well, my skin isn't the best skin on planet Earth, and it's not because I don't take care of it now. It's because I didn't really take care of it back then. See, as you can see, I have like quite a bit of scarring that shows up. I mean, it's harsh light from a side angle. I tried so many things. It's like something that runs in my family. We all struggle with acne genetically. It was starting to show up quite a bit too into my early 20s. So I just bit the bullet and went on sort of a low dose of Accutane, and it really cleared things up. But I'm not going to prescribe that to you because, once again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a dude.
I'm the dude.
It's kind of a shitty drug, to be honest. I didn't really like being on it. I think I was kind of depressed. Right now, my skin routine is not Tiege Hanley, despite the fact that a couple years ago I did a little sponsor spot for T. Shanley, giving Aaron Marino some sweet, sweet dough.
Gentlemen!
But I like the CeraVe stuff. I like the CeraVe cleanser. Use that in the shower. And then right out of the shower, I moisturize my face with the CeraVe moisturizer. I'm not sponsored by CeraVe. I just like their stuff. They come in big tubs. But yeah, I just wash my face and then moisturize right out of the shower. And that's pretty much it. Good luck with your acne. Acne's not fun, but it's not as big of a deal to people as it might be to you. And what I mean by that is, don't be in your head. People aren't looking at your acne any more than you are. Inno says, do you play RuneScape? Also, how do you stay motivated in a world where the future is so uncertain? Since everything has been put on hold, I've found it hard to set out long-term goals. It feels as though if I'm positive, then I'm just setting myself up for disappointment. Because things can very likely get so much worse, specifically in terms of COVID and lockdown restrictions. How do I stop living every day as a way to pass the time until I can live normally again? Thanks. I can totally relate to this. Do I still play RuneScape? I play RuneScape maybe once a year. Like, I'll get into it for a few days and go hard.
That's what she said.
For at the start of the year. I haven't done it yet. How does one stay motivated when the world seems so uncertain? It's a very good question because I feel like everyone needs this advice right now. So I'm going to be thoughtful about this. In order to live a good life when everything is kind of shitty all around you and it seems like anything you plan for will, the plans will just fall apart. I feel like that's sort of the theme of last year and the start of this year. In order to live a good life despite all this chaos, you really have to stop living so much for the future, I think. Try to find a way to find satisfaction today. Because as I've kind of gone over in previous videos on the main channel, you pretty much only experience life today. The day that you just had seemed pretty normal and inconsequential, but in a weird way, that's pretty much all life is. This can sound super depressing if your life is suboptimal. You're like, I don't want to keep on living this shitty Groundhog Day all the time. And you'd be right, that is kind of depressing. But it's also really encouraging because when you have that level of predictability, then changing your entire life is only a matter of changing your typical day. I mean, you've had many great days in your life. You can reflect on the great days you've had. And a lot of the time it isn't days where you're playing RuneScape all day long. It's days where you kind of pushed yourself outside your comfort zone. You went on a memorable hike or something. You had a good time with a friend. You need to find ways to inject your average day with these types of experiences, with the things that fulfill you and make you happy. Otherwise, you're kind of just postponing your happiness to some hypothetical future where things kind of sort themselves out. So yeah, really figure out what you're doing on an average day, how much time you're wasting, and look at your day as if it's your life, because it is. Bring some of that hypothetical future happiness into the present moment and lock in a day that will truly fulfill you. Giovanni says, what can you suggest to people who are looking for deep human interactions in a digital world where everyone's looking on their phone? I would say join a sports team or club. It doesn't have to be sports, but you have to go to meetup.com or something, wherever they kind of organize and host these kind of extracurricular meetups. You really do have to generate a hobby or try new things. It's kind of exactly what I was talking about in the first or second question. You really have to just sort of take action and find the spheres of interest where people are a lot more present, because they do exist. For me, that's hockey. And I play hockey 2 times a week. It's kind of shut down right now, which is killing me. But you can't be on your phone while you're playing hockey. You can only be on the bench, bantering, talking about the next play. It's a great way to build community and meet new people and stuff like that. So if you're not into any sports, maybe get into some sports. And if you're really not athletic, just be athletic. No, I'm just kidding. Facebook groups, local Facebook groups. There are, I think meetup.com is still a thing. Meetup.com. Make time for what you love this year. Yeah, it looks like it's a thing. See if there's anybody in your local area on meetup.com. And it's not a dating site. It's a site where people congregate or like host, ultimate frisbee or a painting class or something, and do that. YK says, do you look back on your past content and disagree or maybe question something that you have mentioned? And the best for you and your channel in the new year. Greetings from the Netherlands. Yeah, I mean, yes. I'm just trying to think of like a specific instance, but I disagree with my past content all the time. But I don't take down the videos. I've taken down one video in the past. It was like a journaling video. And the reason I did that wasn't because I disagreed with my take on journaling. I actually think I kind of liked that video, but the video came across way too much as a giant ad for a journaling company. And it's a company I don't really use anymore. And I just kind of felt weird about having that. It felt like a giant sales funnel for their journal. I want to hold my channel to a higher standard than that. But yeah, I feel like there have been videos where I disagree with what I said, or I have evolved my take on things, but I don't want to take down those videos because it shows sort of my evolution, and what I thought back then is truly what I thought back then. And I like reflecting on kind of my change in perspective. If I never disagreed with my past content, then you could be damn sure I'm not really evolving as a human being. No comfort to Ebola today. That's too bad. Where are you? Rafaela Randon says, do you consider yourself happy? Why or why not? I am happy. But I'm not as happy as I could be, and I feel like a lot of that is because I'm lacking a lot of human interaction, as so many people are these days, just because of the pandemic. I feel like a big staple to anyone's happiness is a healthy social life and a sense of community, and it's hard to come by these days. So I feel like I'm trying to overcompensate in the other areas of my happiness, like, being productive on my YouTube channel, taking care of my health, getting enough sleep, just so that for the time being, I can hang on so that, I can still be functional and productive until the community aspect of my well-being comes back. I know that FaceTime and Skype isn't really the same as FaceTime and Skype and Zoom. It's not the same thing as real human interaction, but it's a hell of a lot better than doing absolutely nothing. So I would say FaceTime your friends, Skype them, Zoom them even. But anyways, clearly I'm a little weird in the head right now, not gonna lie. I've been inside too long, maybe I'll go take a walk before the sun goes down. But other than that, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you have more questions, type them in the comments section below, and I will answer them in next week's episode, which comes out next Friday. It's going to be a weekly thing. I'm really excited. Talk to my editor. He's all locked in too, so we're going to have a nice schedule. And yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be great. That sounded super sarcastic, but once again, I'm funny in the head. So talk to you guys soon. See ya.
It's free real estate.